What's up, guys? Josh Pete here, 24/7 Sports, joined by Steve Wiltfong, National Director of Recruiting. It's that time of week. We're jam-packed on the Wiltfong Recruiting Whip Around. Steve, we had a really busy week, as it turns out, and especially a weekend in the world of visits. So just take me around the country and tell me exactly what happened.
Josh, it's been since March since we had a big recruiting visit weekend, and only two schools hosted high-profile prospects, but I'll take it, man. It was good to see. You guys all know about the Sooner Summit in Norman, Oklahoma. Caleb Williams, five-star quarterback from Washington, D.C., Gonzaga, put it together, invited as many blue-chip prospects as he could. Five-star offensive tackle Tristan Lee was there, top 247 offensive tackle. Savion Byrd was there, five-star running back Kamar Wheaton, top 247 receiver. Jaleel Farouk, among the top coveted uncommitted guys that went to Norman. They had some commits there. They had some 2022 prospects there. Meanwhile, Georgia had one. It was got much less notoriety until after the fact, but quarterback Brock Vandegrift, who lives in the area, another high-profile quarterback recruit. He had some big-time guys hanging out with him this weekend. The number one overall player in the 24/7 Sports Composite, Corey Foreman, five-star from California, flies all the way from the West to come out to the Peach State. Five-star defensive tackle Mason Smith, the number one player in Louisiana. Top 247 safety Terrian Arnold, top 247 athlete linebacker Xavier Sori, among the big names. Oh, and then five-star offensive tackle Marius Mims. Can't believe I almost forgot him. So let's start there with Georgia, who has finished with the number one recruiting class in the country 2 of the last 3 years. They've been in the top 4. They've been in the top 3 4 straight years. So we know a run from Kirby Smart and company is coming. And I think that they're going to have a good shot at several of these guys that were there this weekend. Let's start with Corey Foreman. I know I said on the whip around a month ago or so that I really liked where LSU was at. Georgia being the other school that you can never sleep on. And we've talked about on this show him being in group text with Kirby Smart and some of the Georgia commits and a good job Kirby Smart's doing in this recruitment. But Georgia, definitely a major player. One person who spent some time with Corey this weekend thought Georgia or USC for him. LSU's obviously still pushing. I don't think that I don't feel as good about LSU as I did a month ago, not saying that they're not in it, but I do feel like Georgia's captivating in this recruitment. Mason Smith has always been a back and forth between LSU and Georgia. Georgia led early in the spring. I think when Bo Pelini came in, his scheme on defense is more exciting to Mason Smith in the position he plays, and some of the guys that Coach Pelini has coached, like Ndamukong Suh. Did I say his first name right? Mr. Sue. I think those type of guys, Mason Smith, seeing that kind of potential. I still like LSU in that recruitment, but Georgia is certainly the other school there, and wouldn't be surprised if Georgia landed both of those 5 stars. Xavier Sori was a guy that early in the process, a lot of people thought favored Alabama. I think that Georgia and Florida are the 2 teams to watch for him. And Terrian Arnold, I think Terrian Arnold and Xavier Sori are going to play college football together. And I have an early crystal ball forecast on Alabama. I don't feel as good about that. I could really see Georgia landing him. There's several others, Florida, Texas A&M, a whole boatload of schools pushing for Terrian Arnold, who's also a basketball standout and plans to play both on the next level. And then Marius Mims. At one point, people thought Georgia or Alabama. That's Georgia or Tennessee right now. I think this was another opportunity for him to get around guys like Lavasi Carroll, the running back commit, who was there from IMG Academy, and Vandegrift again. I still like my crystal ball for Georgia. Tennessee being the other for 5-star offensive tackle, Marius Mims. And Tennessee has done a really great job with Mims as well. And so that's about what I know coming out of that Georgia visit, Josh. So let's change gears and go out to Norman. I upped my 24/7 Sports crystal ball confidence for Savion Byrd. I think I'm at like a 9 right now for Oklahoma. I'd be really surprised if they didn't land one of the top offensive tackles out of the Lone Star State, and potentially soon. Oklahoma already has Colin Montgomery committed. He was there, part of the Sooner Summit this weekend. He's from Texas, from the same high school as Jalen Waddle and Walker Little and Marvin Wilson. So Savion Byrd is stock up for Oklahoma coming out of that visit. Oklahoma's got a chance to sign a really good offensive line class because I love where they sit with Bryce Foster, one of the more coveted offensive guards in the country. And then 5-star offensive tackle Tristan Lee was there his first time. He comes from the state of Virginia. He's on the same flight out with Caleb Williams and the receiver Jaleel Farouk, who I also love Oklahoma for. And he had a great visit. First time there, they were there from Thursday to Sunday. Really got a chance to bond with the players in Oklahoma's class and other potential players. I think him and Savion Byrd hit it off too, and the idea of them playing together is advantageous. Certainly, his mom talked about how Tristan has always wanted to play with Caleb. Bill Beatonbaugh and the offensive line coach at Oklahoma, and Lincoln Riley, head coach, obviously, they've done a good job building a relationship with Tristan. And Oklahoma's, they were in a sneaky good position coming in. They were a legit contender for him, but I still keep my crystal ball on LSU for Tristan, Josh. He's going to go back to Baton Rouge before making a final decision. It's going to be his mom's boyfriend, his girlfriend, his sister, his little brother Aiden Lee, who's got offers from LSU, Oklahoma, and all the schools recruiting him. And so he's going to get back to LSU. That'll be his third time at LSU. LSU was one of the first schools to recruit Tristan. And that relationship with Coach Craig and Coach O has been right. They prioritized him early also before he was a 5-star. And I think all that matters. And he wants to get back to LSU, where I think he sees an opportunity to really make an early impact for the defending national champs. Kamar Wheaton dropped his top 3 at about 1:30 in the morning today, Tuesday morning. It was supposed to come out a top 2 around dinner time. I ended up being a top 3. You got Oklahoma in there. They're trending on the crystal ball. I like Oklahoma there. But LSU and Alabama round out the top 3. Texas is out. If you told me where to put my money today, I would put it on Oklahoma for Kamar Wheaton. But I do think he likes those other 2 schools, or he would announce for Oklahoma. So something's holding him up from announcing. But Oklahoma, they're looking for their 4th straight top 10, their 4th top 10 recruiting class in 5 years, Josh. And really, I think my favorite thing with what Oklahoma is doing right now, they landed Kelvin Gilliam, a top 247 defensive lineman, over the weekend. They're really loading up on defense. I haven't seen them recruit on defense like this in my time doing this. They've obviously landed Caleb Williams. They've landed Cody Jackson and Mario Williams at wideout. Those are guys that are going to maintain the standard that we're used to at Oklahoma, scoring points, high draft picks at receiver, running back, quarterback, of course, and the offensive line. But these guys that they're getting on defense, the Kelvin Gilliams of the world, the Clayton Smith, who is back there for the Sooner Summit, the Ethan Downs, those are guys that they haven't recruited that kind of athleticism in the front 7 that I can remember. And I think they can be the difference in Oklahoma taking a step forward for the crystal ball. Last guy they'd love to add there, Jeremiah Scooby Williams out of Alabama. That's going to be a tough get. Auburn trending on the crystal ball. Florida pushing hard there. But Oklahoma's right in the middle of that one for the All-American.
Steve, I'm looking as we close up here at the 24/7 Sports current team rankings. Ohio State, Alabama, neck and neck in the 1-2 spots. And we've talked about this, and we'll continue to talk about this, about how realistic it is someone could knock Ohio State off that perch. We've talked about Alabama and Clemson and LSU, but like more and more, it seems like Oklahoma could be, if the stars align, a legitimate contender to challenge for the number 1 spot. Is that realistic?
Yeah, but they got to bat 1,000 down the stretch, and that includes beating Ohio State for Emeka Egbuka, the number 1 receiver in the country out of Washington, who was maybe going to come to the Sooner Summit but didn't make it. Maybe he'll get back to Norman. Washington's scratching and clawing in that recruitment, and so is Clemson. But I still like Ohio State there. Then you have the number 2 overall player in the composite, number 1 in the top 247, JT Tuimoloau. I like Ohio State for him. I think that Ohio State's pitch that we have the track record to get you drafted in the top 10 gives them the edge. And no school out west right now can say that with certainty. But if I'm Oregon, I'm saying, look, we don't have the rich tradition right now of the Bosas and Chase Youngs, but damn it, we can start this with Kayvon and then you and then whoever's coming after you, and we're not going anywhere. We're a preseason top 10 team. We just won the Rose Bowl. We're ready to take that next step. Oklahoma's fighting for JT, also Alabama, USC. He's talking to a lot of schools. That one's going to go to February. Ohio State is I logged a crystal ball for them on Monday night for top 247 defensive tackle Tyreek Williams. He's announcing later this week. I think Ohio State's going to land him, and that'll help the Buckeyes get a little cushion on Alabama. Alabama's erased a lot of that cushion with an amazing spring and summer on the trail, and they're obviously still in on a lot of guys. But where we started the show, Georgia, you know they're going to be there. When you look at their average ranking per commit, they're in that like 4 to 6 range overall nationally. They have like the least amount of commits of all the contenders. So ton of upside for Kirby Smart in this Georgia class. And I said you knew they were going to make a run. I couldn't pinpoint which prospects it was going to be a couple months ago, but we knew that they were going to have one. But they just landed Brock Bowers not too long ago, and I really think Georgia's coming.
Steve Wiltfong's here every week, bringing the heat like only he can. Steve Wiltfong, thank you, sir. We'll speak again next week.